Hi, everybody. It's Angie Hooper from Angie Hooper Coaching and Happy at Law. Today, I want to walk you through how to fill out the form to create a limited liability company, and we're going to use Texas as an example. So one of the things that I see happening for people is that they end up spending money they don't need to spend because they use a service that ends up requiring them to fill out the form anyway, right? Or someone will sell them a form when really this is a form that your state has online for you to use for free. So I'm going to show you the example. Before we get to that, we got a little bit of housekeeping to do. Just a reminder, I'm Angie Hooper. I've spent over 20 years on the front lines of the legal profession, client facing, doing transactions, doing big deals, doing little deals, doing procurement, doing all kinds of stuff. I'm a fractional GC. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a professional certified coach and performance dynamic specialist. So that's me. But what we're going to talk about today is how to take some steps to protect your business when you're on a budget and you just are nervous about spending a bit more money, right? So as we talk about this, I want you to understand that what we're doing today is for educational purposes only. There's no attorney-client relationship created between us through this video. You should always consider getting specific legal or tax advice for your situation. But for a lot of folks who are even considering that, having this background helps you become a better client and ask better questions from your lawyer. So let's start looking here. We're going to actually just go to Oh, that's the wrong one. We're going to go to the Chrome tab. Here we go. All right, so what you see here is the Texas Secretary of State website. I'm going to show you how I got here. If you're creating an LLC, this form number 205 here is the one you're going to use. But let's assume that you're sort of basically starting from scratch, right? So you're going to be here. You're going to use your browser to type in Texas, since that's the state we're using, limited liability company form. All right, now you're going to see all this stuff right here, right? These registered agents, form an LLC, their services that want to provide you this information for a fee. I'm going to show you how to get it for free. Now, do you see this address here that says sos.state.tx.us, right? That SOS stands for Secretary of State. For states, the Secretary of State is the agency where you file your documents for your limited liability or your corporation, right? So when you see that SOS, that's what that means. So we're going to go here to the Secretary of State for the state of Texas, and look at that. It popped right up with our Form 205, which is a certificate of formation for a limited liability company, right? And it gives you some instructions. You see how that works? And all you're going to do is either print this out or fill it out in Adobe. So my awesome LLC, notice that the instructions tell you this has to have your name, my awesome business LLC, let's call it that. The name has to have the words limited liability company, limited company, or an abbreviation. So you want to have your LLC right there. It used to be common to have punctuation here. So it would be my awesome business, comma, L period, LLC, period. That's a bit more archaic way to do it. It's totally fine these days to leave out all that punctuation. You just want to be consistent with it. However you put it on this form is the name of the business, and you want to stick with that. And then you're going to fill out this form. The names that you're going to put here are going to be the owners of the corporation, right? So you can have this as you only need one person to do this, right? Does that make sense? And then all right, so we're here. We find our certificate of formation for a limited liability company from the state of Texas. We're going to go here to where it says corporate forms, right? Click on that. It's going to take us to the Texas Secretary of State website. You're going to scroll down here, and there will be some articles and things to look at. What you want to know is, do you have a nonprofit corporation? Probably not, unless you're actually creating a charity or some kind of nonprofit. Do you have a professional corporation? In other words, are you a medical practice, a legal practice, an accounting firm, that kind of thing? Probably not. Most of the folks that are going to do this themselves are going to be creating a limited liability company. So you're going to want this form 205 right here. So let's just open that up in Word. Now mine just downloaded right here, and we'll open that up. You can see what else I'm working on. All right, let's make this full screen. So you'll see here you've got instructions on how to do this. And as you scroll down, you'll see the form that you can fill out. So we're going to say, let's make up a name here. And of course, before we formed our LLC, we would have checked with the Secretary of State on whether our name was available, right? So obviously you're not going to create an online business called Amazon, right? Because that's taken. But let's say you might form a business called My Awesome Business LLC. It used to be common to have punctuation here, and that's still totally fine to do that. It kind of went away over time because frankly, it's just sort of a pain to type that comma and those periods in the LLC. The thing is, however you put it on this form is how you're going to stick with it. So just pick one, and you're just going to want to be consistent, because however you type in the name of your entity is what it is exactly. So anything that's abbreviated, any punctuation that's in there, that's part of your name. So make sure it is what you like it. And that's how you do it. You're going to fill this out. Then you're going to go back to the Secretary of State. It's going to tell you how to submit this form. It's going to be in the instructions. Now, the filing fee in Texas is $300. So you can send in a check. You can use certain credit cards. You're going to need to send that in at the time you send in the application, send in that form 205. So you're going to want to send in your $300 with that. Now, that fee goes to the state. That's just something everybody has to pay to send in with their form to form their entity. What we want to do today is to make sure that you're not paying on top of that just for the form that you could get for free. All right. I hope that's helpful, and good luck. Get out there and do some business.